I'm pre-recording this video today to be shown on Friday because, fingers crossed, my new furniture should come on Friday. And since I have no idea when they're going to get here, somewhere between 11 and 5:30. So I thought I'd go ahead and do my recording, get it over with, and so you guys had something to watch today. Anyway, I hope you have a fabulous day and happy crafting. We're going to turn the camera down and get going. Okay, camera is set. This is a fun new one, like I said. This is the second one in the series that I'm going to do with this Hooray for Surprises. So let's get going. Right, here are the papers we're going to use today. Oh, don't need to see the envelope. Excuse me. Cannot get rid of this cold. I've had it for 3 weeks now. This is your basic card base. If you're working in metric, it is 14.85 by 21 inches, scored in the half at 10.5, burnished and folded. If you are working in Imperial, this is your basic Imperial half sheet, which is 5.5 by 8.5. Boom, scored in the middle at 4.25. Now, if you desire, and I always do this when I have any kind of color card, I cut an inside layer. And this is, again, standard. It's 5 centimeters short all the way around. So if you need those numbers, it is 8.5 go in this way and 13.3 going that way. If you need the numbers for the Imperial, it's 3.5 by 5. There we go. Now, as you can see, I stamped on the inside, and we'll be using the stamp again in a moment. I like to decorate the inside, so I encourage people to do that as well. So there we go. That's first layer. Second layer. This is crushed curry. Now, instead of making your basic setup like that, you notice this is kind of short. So this layer is 9 centimeters this way by 13.8. So the length is the same as if we would be doing a regular layer, but it's not as wide. And if you're going to be working in Imperial, it's 3.125 by 5.25. The reason this is more narrow is we're going to cock it over like this. So, and it seems to be sort of a current thing to do. I have to say I kind of like it. It adds some interest. And I think this card, especially using this piece of DSP, I think it sort of speaks to it. So I wanted to give this a go. I'd not done a sort of sideways one before. And if it were exactly the same layer, it would stick out. It wouldn't look right. So if you don't like the cocked over measurements, you can use the same measurement as the white layer that's on the inside. So to that end, we have cut that. Now, the next thing we have, again, this is going to be the top layer. These two pieces of paper, the white cardstock and the Sunny Day DSP, the other side is little cherries, isn't that cute, are going to be exactly the same. We're going to tape them together. I'll give you the sizes of this. This is the 8.5, which is, again, shortened if we were, making a regular small layer. And it is 13.3. Now, this measurement came from, the Imperial is 3.5 by 5. You'll recognize those because this is designed to go in the center, and we have a centimeter all the way around. And for the other one, it's a 1/2 inch all the way around, so that we've got just a little bit of the color sticking through for fun. Okay, so you got the idea what that's going to look like. Let's set that aside for now. We're going to put these two pieces together. I like to use the Post-it note tape, as I have said before. And we're going to just stick this on here. As you can tell, I did a sample, so I've already got a nice piece here. Now, the reason we're sticking top and bottom together I didn't quite get that even. It's because that's how it's going to run through the machine. And we're going to run both of these through the die cutter at the same time. Did I not get that cut exactly? Oh, it doesn't matter. We can always trim. Trim it up later. Okay, sorry for the cartoon voice. At least you're not subjected to when I burst out in song. That's usually too scary for anybody. Okay, and I'm always terrified that one of these days I'll do that. Now that we have our two pieces stuck together, we are going to stamp. And again, we are using the Hooray for Surprises. I have pulled out the lovely heart stamp, and I've stamped with this 2 or 3 times. Sometimes these solid stamps have a tough time when they're photopolymer, and that's because they're thin. And to fix that, I use my stamping mat. If you've got a Stampin' Pierce, this is just the basic silicone mat, but it's just enough to give it a little bit of extra squish down in there. I say as I knock my ink pad to the floor. Sorry about that. There we go. Go. Now, I am using Lost Lagoon. This is actually Pool Party, but since I want it to show up on here, I'm going with the shade that's slightly darker. These seem to be, of about the same shade and hue, so, well, actually the hue's a little darker, but anyway, you'll see when we stamp. I tried stamping the Pool Party. It was just too light. It did not give me the same sort of oomph. Okay, now I am going to attempt to center this up without sticking my head out of the way. And I'm going to stamp 2 hearts, one directly above the other. Now I don't have another piece prepared, so please do this right. Okay, let's give it a nice even push without rocking it. And pull it up. Hey! Beautiful. Let's do that again. Oops, get a little ink on the top. I know they don't have to be exact, but I like it as exact as can be. Okay, now I'm going to evenly push this down all the way around. Ha! Voila! Let me do quick stamp cleanup here. I've got my chamois. Oops, should have opened the chamois before we start so you don't hear the world cracking here. You see what I mean about this will give you just a really nice, pretty clean stamp on here. Just set this aside. All right. We can remove this for use in a few moments. Actually, we're done with that, but now what we're going to do, keeping them stamped, keeping them taped together. You're probably wondering, why is it taped together? This doesn't make a lot of sense. But it was the only way I could figure out how to line up the top layer and the bottom layer. So forgive my slight klutziness, but this is the way I figured out how to do it. Now we're going to do some die cutting. Now what we're going to have, come on. Going to use the hearts. Come out, please. And the heart pull tab. Provided I can get it loose out of here. There we go. Now I like to tape my dies down, particularly when they're when I stamp first and then put the die on top, I like to get it as even in there as I possibly can. Now see, that's a little scooch down. Let's go down a bit. There we go. Now let's get this piece of tape and let's put our bottom die. Now, we are using the regular heart die, so that is going to stay put. This is going to come out. Why, you ask? Well, you shall see. Yes, I'm wearing my goof hat today. Okay, all pushed down. Let's get out our little mini whippersnapper here. I know. It's a cut and die machine. Or it's a embossing cut machine. So we have Big Bertha, and then we have the mini whippersnapper. Because if you don't name your machines, they will not think you love them. All right, mini set. Card set. Top piece, Roger. Come on, sit in there. I mean, this just does fit. So if you're using the wider one and you have the larger machine, you may possibly want to use the larger machine to die cut this. Now, I'm not running this through twice. If I were serious about cutting through 2 layers, just to satisfy my need to have things perfect, I would probably run it through twice. But we're not, the point is not to cut through both layers. The point is to mark the second layer. Let's see. Come on. Get that out of the way. Sorry about that. All right, now to that end, the first thing we're going to do is turn this over gently. Now, as you can see, yeah, it did cut all the way through, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. But we don't want to cut all the way through. So what we are doing is I have some handy dandy sallow tape here, and we are going to tape it up. I know, it sounds bizarre, but this is what we're going to do. We don't, under any circumstances, want this to come out of here. Now, if you guys come up with a better way to do this, or one that might make more sense, please let me know. When I was first coming up with this design, I had a terrible time. I can't tell you, well, actually, I can't tell you how much paper I went through trying to get the bottom set up so it was nice and clear. And you'll see what I mean in a moment. Now I'm just going to pull this bit up here. Come on. Yes, I know you shouldn't do this with your fingernails. And I'm one of those horrible, when I was a nail tech, I used to tell my ladies all the time, don't use your fingernails as tools. They are not tools. They are the beautiful part of your hands. And look at what I'm doing. I guess it's like my dad. Do as I say, not as I do. Anybody else's parents give you that line? I don't know, when you're a teenager, it just doesn't sit too well. I don't think I ever did that to my kids. But you'll have to ask them, because if I did, I don't remember it. All right, I think I got, that's the problem with these lovely invisible tape. It's invisible. Now I'll pull this one out here. I may need to cut that. It's not coming off. Now, another reason that we're taping this down is I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. So I don't want these little hearts flipping down off the back. All right, let's turn it over. Let's undo all of our careful stuff here. Come here, pointed tool. Ha. Now I'm doing it like this because I'm saving the tape. Now, the top is not going to matter, but when you free up this at the bottom, when you free up this top one, pull that loose, and just like on the other, if you saw my other video where I used the tab pull, this is rather delicate. So what I did is I went back, I took my tape, temporary tape, put it back on, oh, that's kind of chewy, back on here to make sure that this didn't get bumped or knocked loose, because it's very easy to do. And you want your recipient to open it. You don't want to do it yourself. There we go. Now these are loose. Put them back over here. Let's get this last piece of paper off. Now this is just the regular heart. So I'm going to pull this loose. See how this shows through? Really nice and pretty. Excuse me, I'm sorry to keep clearing my throat. It sounds awful. All right, and now we have, ta-da, we're going to stamp over here. These yucky pieces of paper here. All right, you sit over here. Now, you go over here, be fine for a while. Now, what I'm going to do with this, and why I have the envelope out, is I am actually going to put it on the back of the envelope, and I will glue it down here, and I think that's a good way to use this. Or, if you prefer, I stamped on the inside, but you could put this on the inside. So, don't throw it away. It's a handy little thing. Okay, now let's stamp for my first trick. Now, see, we know exactly where to stamp now. Do you see how clever that is? Okay, maybe not that clever, but at least we know. I am using for my top stamp the greeting that says, "Sending you lots of love." Now, this is the one that will be hidden. Let's do it this way, because I'm really silly and I absolutely love watching that ink up. Now, just try not to get my head in your way. Just put that down and push. And I did not put my pad under here. Shame on me. I got lucky. It came out good. Let's get our pad back over here. There we go. Quick wipe before we throw away. Love that chamois, guys. Love that chamois. In fact, when I got that chamois, I realized how good that was at wiping things down. And I went and found one for cars that I used to help clean the bathroom. It's really amazing. And it seems to rinse out better than a sponge or anything. So just a top tip there. Chamois are awesome. Now, for our next trick, we are going to stamp, "Hope your birthday is wonderful." Now, something that I said in, oh, got a messy Marvin here. Something I said in my blog. Sorry, I can't talk and concentrate at the same time. My mouth just runs wild. Okay, hope your birthday's wonderful. Let's put this down here. We are lining it up. I don't like the way that looks. Okay. Anybody else do that? Take one look at that and go, something not right. Okay, try it again. Sorry about that. I really don't wish to bore you to tears. But I do wish to have top grade stamping to show you my skill and effort, and yeah, keep threatening to change my channel to the Klutzy Stamper, because anything that can go wrong will. Now we are lined up here, applying pressure evenly, and and praying. Yay! Let's clean this up and get rid of that. Now we've got one more little fun to do. So I like to try and incorporate all my colors. And in order to do that, I have, where's my little block? There is a, oh no, I'm gonna need that. There is a tiny little flower that's in this set. And I like it sort of, I don't know what you call it. It's almost sort of retro looking. So I'm using my colors, Calypso Coral and Crushed Curry, to decorate around this a little bit. So let's put the little flower here. And oops, I'm stuck to the paper there. Put the little flower here and here. And it doesn't matter if it goes outside the lines, but the only thing that will show here is what is inside the lines, because we're going to lay that back on top of this. Let's do some here. And another one. And another one. All right. Fabulous. Let's go to this color. Mega fans of Calypso Coral. Even the name makes me think of the beach and lovely warm weather. Now I'm going to use a little crushed curry. Well, the name of that one just makes me hungry. All right. Put the little yellow flower. Oh God, I'm doing it. I'm singing. I'm so sorry. Would love for you guys to comment if you have any quirks or funny things that you do when you're stamping or you're concentrating. I think if I'm going to get in here and embarrass myself, that you should do the same. Okay. Ta-da! Now, ain't that cheerful, y'all? As my mama would say. And I hear all of my British friends looking at me as if I have lost my mind. Okay, that is done. Now we have one more tiny bit of stamping to go, and we have a teeny tiny little pull tab here. Very small, but you need the instruction. So we'll set this aside for a moment, pull this in, open our Gloss Lagoon again, ink up the tiny pull, put it over here. Now it's going to extend a little over, but I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference. You just want some instruction for your pull. And hopefully that will be bright enough. Ugh, the L looks weird on that edge, doesn't it? Do you know, I think I probably could have stamped it off on the side. The other one, the sample that I made, it didn't, the L didn't get weird looking like that. But I think maybe that's just me thinking it's more imperfect than it actually is. Uh-oh. That's the problem with these tiny stamps. I just knocked it off. Stick that over here. And now we are going to put that onto this. I found it easier to put the glue on this side. So that is what I'm going to do. I also have my glue assistant here, which I've shown this to you before. It's just a sponge that I keep in a Tupperware type piece, and ooh, that's weird. Oh, see the other side of it. It helps to spread the glue and it doesn't dry out if you keep it in a little Tupperware. You want to make sure you do not get that glue anywhere near, well, you can get it near, but you don't want it glued close. So that's about, as you can see what I'm doing here, that's about as close as you want to get to that. It needs to be glued for sure, but you also need to be careful, because there's no point in having a pull tab if when you pull it, nothing happens. Maybe a little more glue here. Okay, good. I was careful enough. I didn't wind up needing my glue swiper, so that's good. Keep it handy though, always. And now we're going to lay this on top of this. Now you see why I did this, so it's lined up. And I'm aligning that bottom heart. And I also recommend doing this with glue, so you've got a little bit of slip here. Okay, what do you think, gang? Kind of use my foam folder to spread any glue globs out. And now, you know, when you pull this tab, you will see the heart underneath. So yeah, what do you think? Now, I am going to do a tiny bit of trimming here, just because I don't really want that white showing off. And just a little curl. We did know we were going to do that at the beginning. I think this is just me being a little bit precious. I don't think we actually have to trim that off. Especially this is so close, can barely see it. Okay. Now let's assemble. Avengers Assemble. Where's my card base? Yes, I like comic books. I'm not like one of those freaky guys, though. Well, maybe I am, but, you know. I will put that down later. Now, remember how I told you we were going to sort of cock this over a bit sideways and cheeky? We'll put some glue on here. Put this down. And the basic way to do this is check that top and bottom and the side, and you want them almost touching. You want just a hair's breadth away for these corners to touch. And that gives you a nice sort of a cocky look without being too, no, that's from my sample, get that out of the way. And now we shall glue this one. Now, actually, I don't want to glue this one down. I want to put this on dimensionals and give it the popped up attention that it needs. Let's turn this over. This will make a lovely Valentine's Day card as well. Can you not picture this lovely in red and white and pink, or different shades of blue? Yes, I am putting a lot of these on here because I want this. It's going to take a little bit of a beating when you actually pull the tab loose. I want to make sure it's stuck down well. Okay. Oh, you see there's other demonstrators, and it's so they put the sharp point in and then they don't have to pick it off in between. They just keep going and load them all up on the point. Keep practicing to try to do that. Hasn't worked yet. But I also think it might be because I've used this tool for absolutely everything. And I have probably dulled that point a bit. And as I said in the beginning, you want to line this up so you've got between the edge of the card and this edge, you have about a ½ inch or a full centimeter showing. And that way we have the benefit now carefully remove these like this. I think these tapes, if I've about had them, probably finally let them go. I use them over and over until they just don't stick anymore. Okay, what do you guys think? Oh, embellishment. Now, I didn't get my pool party ribbon in my last order. And I don't have any Crushed Curry or Calypso Coral ribbon, but I felt like it needed something. You guys know I love bows. So what I did is I took some embroidery floss and I put these colors together, and I think it did a pretty good job. But I'm going to affix that right there. I tried 2 on the sample, but it didn't look right. So, I mean, what would have been cool is if I could have wrapped it around the heart, but then I would have to pull it loose and that wouldn't have worked. So we're going to do it this way. I'm going to get the glue dot. Hey, at least this time when I opened the glue dots, I didn't get 2 of them off on my fingers, which is what I usually do. Come on, glue dots. See what I mean when I said I use this point for everything? And we're just going to put our dot right down here. Voila. And have a fluffy bow. And basically, I just held these pieces together as I tied the bow so that it looks even like that. And we're going to poke it right there. Okay, there we go. I am going to affix this to the inside later. This birthday card is going to a friend of mine. So what I always do, since I am the Klutzy Crafter, I will write in here first and then I will glue it down because sometimes I mess up writing on it and then, well, that's it. So here is the card. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it, had a great time doing it. And, oh, you want to see what this looks like? No. You already know what it looks like. But I hope you will make this card and give it a go. Take a photo. Please, please tag me in social media. I'm Lori Othen. I'm going to be putting this up on YouTube. So if you want to see it again, you can go there. Also, you can watch it again on Facebook because I'm going to be posting. This will be my regular Friday, as I said before. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a wonderful crafty day.